Marcin Prachnio is 27 years old and has a very impressive 10-2 record as a professional mixed martial artist. Just look at the attitude as he comes into the cage. You know, he's had that attitude all week, hasn't he, Mitch? It's been remarked upon. Serious business for this man from Poland. It's his second One Championship contest. He won the first against Alexander Mercado. This was the face-off earlier in the week. It was one of the most intense we've seen. And as you can see, they politely had to be pulled apart. Some fighter though, Mitch.
Yeah, Marcin Prachnio is a legit world-class striker, and we can see from his previous contest back in February, he is really a powerful striker, and he likes to put it on him. But his coach right there just said it. He was in the back. He's like, we haven't even seen what this guy's capable of doing. The power that he has in his feet, in his hands, he says, has never been seen before in mixed martial arts, which is a very big statement.
And the middleweight division at One Championship is shaping up just beautifully, particularly from the power aspect. We've got Igor Spirit, we've got guys who can really put it together. Our champion, our middleweight champion, has got tremendous power. Vitaly Big Dash, Leandro Ataides, who is Prachnio's opponent today. Awfully impressive power. These guys don't hang around, they throw big bombs. They've all got good chins as well.
Yeah, he is really excited to be here in Bangkok. He's studied so much Muay Thai out there in Holland that he loves. He feels just like Bangkok is his second home.
I feel like the sky is falling down. Ain't nobody here to play around. Push it to the edge, I won't back down. 'Cause it's time to go hard and go home. One day
In the red corner,
we stay up
from the south,
for the family.
Leandro
3, 2, 1.
Ataides.
The LA on the shirt, that's the motif of the Los Angeles Dodgers, the way that LA is written, but of course it also stands for Leandro Ataides, a powerful man. But he's had a bit of an up and down time of it recently, Mitch. This is a man you know well. He's a beautiful man to know, but he's a fearsome opponent in the cage.
Yeah, you would not think that a 5-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion would throw the hands that Ataides does. He loves to put away his opponents. He tracks a tremendous punch, and it's all or nothing every single time he sets foot inside the One Championship cage. You can just see the ferocity that he approaches each and every single exchange. And look at that, he knew it was done right then and just eased off. And we look at some of his stats, a 5-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion. But 50% of his wins have come by putting people to sleep. So that is a very dangerous man right there.
The question is, because he's putting people to sleep all the time, he's also exposing himself in terms of punching. And as you said, a 5-time BJJ world champion. Will we see more of that tonight, you think, against Prachnio?
I don't know. You gotta wonder, you know, when they devise the game plan and the strategy, you know, does he want to stand and bang with the striker, the capability of Prachnio? We don't know, you know, but I think he believes so much in himself and everything that he's accomplished in his life that he has no fear coming into this. He very well might do it.
I've been in the locker room with Leandro after a loss, and I can see firsthand how much losses affect him. This man wants to return, and he wants to return to winning ways. He did that in Singapore just a few weeks ago when he beat Tatsuya Mizuno. Another win under his belt would do him an awful lot of good. And so, when these two big men go side by side, you can see that Ataides is 2 years older. They are exactly the same height. This is Poland against Brazil.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds of 5 minutes in a catch weight 95.8 kilogram bout. and is brought to you by Air Asia. Now everyone can fly. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Polish Kyokushinkai karate champion, standing at 184 centimeters tall, holding a professional MMA record of 10 wins and 2 losses. Representing Tatsujin Dojo and fighting out of Deventer, Netherlands. From Poland, he is Marcin Prachnio. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He is a 5-time BJJ world champion, standing at 184 centimeters tall, holding a professional MMA record of 8 wins and 2 losses. Representing Nova União and fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, he is Leandro Ataides. And when the action begins, ladies and gentlemen, your referee in charge, Mr. Olivier Coste.
Hi guys, watch out for headbutt, low blows, back of the head and spine. As you know, no full stomp to the head. Listen my command all the time, defend yourself at all time. Touch guard if you want, back your corner.
If you want to fight based on your game face, I think Prachnio would already have this one in the bag. There it is.
All right, judge.
This fight
judge,
brought to you by
Ready?
Air Asia.
Ready?
Now
Fight.
everyone can fly.
Steve, we gotta wonder, is this gonna be the next bet fight of the night?
Well, we've had a contender with Christian Lee winning, haven't we? This one could be explosive. Spinning backwards from Ataides, and he got caught coming in after he threw that.
Yeah, Steve, that was some of those strikes. He puts it all out there every single time, and he is choosing to stand and bang with the world, the karate champion.
Prachnio's thrown that right hand 3 times now, and it looks lights out every time, doesn't it?
Every single shot could be the end of the night for one of these individuals.
He's leading with that right hand punch and then throwing a left after it. Now, Ataides, will he employ the jiu-jitsu that we've really quite rarely seen?
You know, that is definitely where his strength's at, but he chooses, he's uprooted his camp, he's moved over to Florida in the U.S., and he's changed a lot of things, and he doesn't seem to have changed his fighting style. It's all or nothing every single time, but he's really starting to see an improved striking style from him. He's keeping that right hand a little bit higher than usual, and there's the takedown.
Single leg.
Beautiful.
Now, this is where he is world title standard, 5 times over.
Yeah, this is definitely where he's going to have a very, very drastic advantage. But Prachnio is doing the right thing. He's keeping the open guard. You know, he's not locking things up. He's not slowing anything down. Nice little knee there. It looks like he's, nice little combination. He was threatening with the anaconda choke.
Prachnio showed some good strength there as they were coming up. He leads with that right hand, doesn't he? You can see that's his favored punch.
Heavy leg strike thrown by Prachnio.
Immensely telegraphed, though, wasn't it? Ataides managed to back off and take the brunt of that kick away. Oh, and Ataides just led away from that swinging right hand.
All his strikes are so heavy, he like runs into every single one of them. If Ataides can tighten up his punches a little bit, he can probably catch him when he's coming in. He's leaving himself quite open.
Prachnio's very open, actually, when he throws.
There's a nice jab thrown by Ataides.
A counter punch could be very effective for the Brazilian. It really is quite an open stance while in the process and recovering from throwing those punches.
He spent such a long time doing a certain type of karate called Kyokushin. And in Kyokushin, they basically just stand in front of each other, punching and kicking each other in the body and the legs. There's no head strikes allowed, so that you can kind of see that implementing. He's not used to taking shots in the face.
Yeah, that clearly is dictating his style, isn't it? Leaves him open, though. And Ataides has bombs in those hands. He has destroyed opponents with those hands before. Prachnio doesn't want to let that happen.
Interesting little step-in knee thrown there. That's some high dexterity in the legs to bring a knee up that high, like they're throwing a roundhouse kick.
This is a contest of 3 5-minute rounds where less than 2 minutes before the end of this round. If we get that far, Rich Franklin is alongside us. He'll give us his idea of who's on top over the first 5 minutes. Judges score the fights in their entirety, not round by round.
I like the way Prachnio's kind of switching his stances. You know, he's going from orthodox to southpaw, which is confusing for a fighter because you can't really get a read on him and you can't really get his timing down.
He switches quite seamlessly, doesn't he?
You know, it's good to kind of mix it up a little bit to give your opponent a different look. When Ataides throws these big, heavy shots, you know, you got to change things up to confuse your opponent in however manner you can.
Did he try for the takedown and stumble as he went in there?
Yeah, it was kind of a knee tap. He kind of went up into the head, but he was a little too far away, lost his footing a little bit, but came right back up with a nice, you know, counter.
Big overhand right there. Sorry to interrupt, but Prachnio really does want to lead with that big overhand punch, doesn't he? Comes from a long way back, and if it lands cleanly, that's going to do some damage.
You can definitely see in this last minute of the round, both these fighters have kind of dropped into another slower gear almost, maybe anticipating this fight be a little bit longer than most people expected, you know, including themselves.
Final 20 seconds in front of an absolutely raucous crowd here at the Impact Arena. And Ataides goes to work, but he's going to run out of time to do anything effective.
Very nice takedown. It was timed beautifully as he shot in under the strikes. Double leg takedown. Really effective way to finish the round. I mean, we don't judge the round, you know, round by round. We judge it as a whole, but a good way to secure a dominant position at the end of the first 5 minutes. We can see Ataides, he kind of locks in that headlock right there. He laces his arms a little bit, and then Prachnio throws him off and gets back up to his feet where he's much more comfortable. Nice little, there's that kind of lead-in stepping knee that he threw there up top. Nice little hand combinations thrown by both guys. There's that nice, that was that knee tap sort of takedown, going to the head into the knee. Let's jump over Rich Franklin and see how he has it so far after the first 5 minutes.
Ataides has landed 2 takedowns in this fight, but so far this is all about the striking category, and they're going back and forth. Both these guys are coming out aggressive. Prachnio is really committing to his punches, but Ataides is landing a little more here and there. Nobody's really had a game plan completely unfold yet, but at this point, if the fight was stopped, the decision would definitely go to Ataides.
There you have it. Rich Franklin, Vice President, won championship as the second round gets ready to go.
5 minutes down, potentially 10 to go.
All right, guys, back. All right,
This arena,
ready?
full to the brim.
Fight!
And they make quite a noise here.
Both these fighters come out with the guns a-blazing. Both of them have their mouth kind of open, which concerns me a little bit. You don't want to leave the mouth open when taking big shots like this at the dangerous strikers.
There's a nice right hand inside from Prachnio. Ataides has got to be careful of that. He's come a cropper against big punches before.
Whew, that one probably just clipped the whiskers just a little of Ataides as Prachnio threw that nice little spinning heel kick. You know, I get this question a little bit throughout the course of the week. How close to Kyokushin karate is, you know, is it to Muay Thai? And it's quite different. You can see that his hands are a lot lower, his base is a lot wider. You know, you don't see a lot of Muay Thai guys switching back and forth, but they do have the same tendency to stand in the pocket and trade big shots. And the crowd loves the big strikes that are thrown right here. They can appreciate a world-class striking battle.
Both men active with the kicks as well. Prachnio just crouching down there, looking for a way in.
You know, Ataides spent a lot of time at Evolve Mixed Martial Arts in Singapore with the world champions in Muay Thai, and he's just surrounded by greats, so you can kind of see that with the hands up nice and high, elbows nice and tight.
He telegraphs that big right hand. I've mentioned that before, but Prachnio's kicks to the leg, to the lower leg, are very fast indeed. They've landed before you see them coming.
And it's also slowed down Ataides a little bit. It hasn't really, you know, he hasn't had that same bounce in his step that he had in the earlier round.
It's almost like he doesn't set those kicks up. Sometimes you need to just plant and then throw the kick, but he really seems to be able to throw it from any stance, and the takedown from Ataides.
Nice, very nice. Oh, passes right over in his good scramble initiated by Prachnio, and he gets back up to his feet.
And landed a left hook in the process. Very, very tidy work from the Polish fighter.
You know, to keep a 5-time world champion off of you like he's doing shows a lot of evolution from his game.
Oh, when he swings big. Approaching the halfway mark of this fight.
Prachnio's really attacking that lead leg of Ataides, and you kind of see him just slowing down a little bit. He's flat-footed, not really moving around too much. You gotta wonder if this fight goes into the 3rd round, how is that gonna affect him if he keeps attacking that lead leg?
There's a next bet fight of the night award to be given out. I think a lot of people didn't expect this fight to go beyond the 1st round.
Action!
Such are the bombs that these two can throw.
But when you're putting every single thing into each one of your shots, you know, it's gonna wear on you. It's gonna slow you down.
And these guys are heavily muscled as well.
Look at them, they're huge. And, you know, they're not gonna have the same pep into their step or that same dangerous power that they had at the beginning of the fight.
Left hand followed by a right hand as Prachnio came in. He got caught. Good work from Ataides. Right and left, though, from the pole, and a big kick to the head. Ataides stood up to that well and picked his moment to press his opponent against the cage.
Now he's got the 50-50 position. One hand's under the arm, one hand's over the arm. Both these guys are kind of neutral, but you can just see the pressure that Ataides is applying to keep Prachnio up against the cage there. He's trying to work out to the left side there and spin away. And he's doing a pretty good job of avoiding being pushed up against the cage and possibly taken down. Lenny Hart tells us that we've only got a minute left in this 2nd round. Let's see who can really try to turn it on, because it's really anybody's fight at this point. It's really looking even.
Ataides fighting open mouth, as you commented on earlier. Mitch, Prachnio doing the same. The pressure, the time, the cardio will start to tell on these heavily muscled bodies now. Spinning back kick.
It's pretty well telegraphed, so Ataides can kind of see what's coming as he steps in with that leg. It doesn't come at, like, there's still a chamber that he's kind of looking at it and seeing, oh, there it is, and he can step in and defend it pretty well.
Final 15 seconds of this 2nd round. Interesting to see how Rich has scored this 2nd 5-minute stanza, and what his scoring is at the 10-minute mark. This one's scheduled for 15 minutes.
Time!
10 minutes are done.
Good 2nd round, both fighters. It'll be interesting to see how the judges have it. You can see, but Ataides is landing these takedowns, and that seems to be the biggest difference, at least to me, in this fight so far. Here, he was almost in mount, but Prachnio did a very good job of turning over to his knees, getting the single leg, and getting back up to his feet. And here's just another one of the exchanges. You know, all of his kicks are coming high, but Ataides is protecting very, very well. And after 10 minutes so far, how do you have it, Rich?
Well, I'll tell you, this fight really is coming back down to the striking superiority again. You know, most of the work that these guys have done in the aggression category was done in the 1st round. Ataides obviously is winning the takedown category. I did not award him a takedown in that round because he wasn't able to actually establish a good ground position. But they're picking at each other. They've both been aggressive on the feet, but Ataides is just landing more punches here and there. He had a heavy hook just around the 1.5-minute mark of that round, and I think it inflicted a little bit of damage. So at this point in time, I have him ahead on all categories.
Matt Hume, the matchmaker here at One Championship, always talking about it's not just the takedown, it's what you do with the takedown. It's merely one step in a series of steps. And Rich pointing out there that you can't just get credit for a takedown on its own.
You know, but to have, you know, Ataides, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, have the striking superiority over a karate champion says a lot for Ataides' striking game.
Well, that's the kind of a well-rounded fighter that he is nowadays. He's evolved so much from simply being a 5-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, so much so that he can duck under that big right hand from the pole.
Yeah, but he's almost telegraphing these things. He's like bringing his hand all the way around, almost behind him, before he throws it. And so Ataides is able to see it slide under and then counter, which is just showing more of that striking superiority that Rich Franklin was talking about earlier.
Well, that's what happens when you lead with the right hand from an orthodox stance. It comes from way back, and it can be seen fairly early. He's never too interested in setting up that right hand with a jab, is he?
No, he's just kind of doing these one shots. He's throwing one kick, he's throwing one punch. Nice little spin off the leg kick. He spun around through the back fist. I don't think very many people in this arena expected this fight to last this long, and I think you're one of them.
Yeah, that's right.
There's that spinning back fist again. Both these guys trading the spinning attacks. It's really got to be set up with something. It's hard to catch somebody with a spinning attack when you just throw it, because they can kind of see your back coming at them.
When big guys like this get a little more weary with around 3.5 minutes left, is this, Mitch, a time where they're most vulnerable to a big punch on the jaw?
Yeah, because they also realize what's at stake here. You know, they only have 180 seconds or so left to really put, you know, an exclamation point on this fight. So they realize it, so they might start taking risks.
Yeah.
They might start putting themselves out there so they can get catched. You know, and right now, you know, Olivier's like, come on, let's bring it. Let's do what everybody wants to see.
Left hand from Ataides as Prachnio came in.
You know, Prachnio's still got good movement. You know, he's not really showing these big signs of fatigue, but nice takedown by Ataides. But again, Prachnio pops right back up to his feet.
He shows a great deal of strength in being able to do that. That's twice now.
You know, and as Rich Franklin was saying, that kind of nullifies the takedown. If he's able to get up that quickly from the takedown, then he doesn't score technically with the takedown.
Well, Prachnio landed with some punches there again. He led with the right hand, but this time he did land. And perhaps Ataides is getting a little weary, having been on the end of a few punches there in the last 30 seconds. Prachnio, does he smell perhaps a chance here with 2.25 minutes left? Behind on points as Rich Franklin sees it.
They got 2 minutes. They got to turn it up. Don't leave anything to the judges. Put it on them. They don't want to go home knowing they didn't give it everything they had.
Prachnio is marked under the right eye. That's just a little bit of redness there and some swelling.
See, Prachnio seems to have a little bit more bounce in his step, a little bit more movement that he's capable of, but he's just not, you know, attacking the same way that he was.
Olivier Coste calls for action once more with 1.5 minutes left. Olivier, very sympathetic to the crowd, wants them to be entertained. That's their right, they've paid their money. These two certainly putting in all the effort they can.
Nice little straight right hand, kind of landed a little bit there. Might have caught more of the beard or the chest than anything else.
Missed with those 2 punches, Prachnio. Ataides ducking under them quite skillfully. Now.
Time.
Uh-oh.
Time. Jono, I need more action from you, okay? I need more action from you, okay? Yeah, I
need more action from you, is what Olivier Coste tells Ataides.
Now, normally, or quite usually, a referee will talk to both fighters when he says that, but picking specifically on Ataides there.
But it's hard. You are tired. You know, you've been fighting for the good chunk of 13 minutes here. He's putting everything into his shots. Ataides has got to be tired. You can see his mouth open.
Certainly, Prachnio is the one that has forced the issue in this 3rd round. And given that Rich had Ataides slightly ahead in the striking categories, I wonder how that will impact the judges' scoring.
He's more active, but he's not landing anything. He's not connecting. He's not doing any damage, you know, to Ataides.
A groin shot will slow the action down. Technically, Ataides gets 5 minutes here, even though this is late on in the fight. Rich Franklin, he can take as long as he needs here, can't he?
He can take up to the duration of the round, which is 5 minutes. Oftentimes, a fighter won't need that much. This is late in the 3rd round, so if I was in this situation, I would probably just kind of reason to myself like I can squeak the rest of this round out.
At this point, Well, who do you think's leading? Like, how has this round changed the complexity of the scoring? Has anybody done enough to move themselves further ahead?
Well, I'll tell you, Prachnio at this point in time has done a little bit more damage in this round, but I don't think he's done enough to cover the deficit that was already existing from the first 2 rounds, the lead that Ataides had already created. So even though he's kind of closed the gap a little bit, I don't see him taking it at this point in time. So he's got some more distance to make up.
The effort's been there, but as Mitch pointed out, and as Rich says as well, he hasn't perhaps connected enough, hasn't achieved as much as he wants to with his attacking motion.
A little bit of urgency shown by both fighters. They seem to be throwing a little bit more.
There was certainly some life in that spinning back fist, even though it fell short. Final few seconds of this contest. Prachnio looks to impress again with the spinning back fist. And once more, slightly more lethargic that final time.
A lot of spinning.
Ataides turns away with his arms in the air, as does Prachnio now. They're both campaigning, aren't they, to the judges. I've won this fight, score it in my favor. A lot of spinning, not much grinning, Mitch.
Lots of spinning attacks thrown by both fighters. There was another one of the takedowns that, Ataides was able to land, but again, Prachnio was able to pop right back up, so not really much ground control shown by Ataides. And then a lot of these strikes were just barely missing. Big strikes thrown. There's some of the spinning attacks that we've shown. But again, all the shots were kind of covered up and protected. So you got to wonder at this point, Rich, how do we have it?
Yeah, like I said earlier, Prachnio did a little bit more damage, but also Ataides did the same thing. It really did, like you said, Mitch, this is just, the strikes that he was landing, they weren't very effective and a lot were missing. So I still have the decision here for Ataides.
That's Rich Franklin's view. We have 3 judges at cage side, and we are about to hear what they think of it. Ataides, the 5-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion. Prachnio, the karate expert from Poland.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we now move to the judges' scorecards. Judge number 1, call the match for the red corner. Judge number 2, call the fight for the blue corner. Ladies and gentlemen, judge number 3 calls for your winner by a split decision from the blue corner, Marcin Prachnio.
A split decision sees Marcin Prachnio take this victory. It's not the way Rich Franklin saw it, but I suspect it was the activity in the final 5 minutes that may have swung it for him. Did he land enough punches in those 5 minutes, though?